Hi everyone. So I was asked to teach you how to learn the Arabic alphabet. So let me tell you about how I first learned this language. Basically, I just started learning it when I was in school, like the basics, the grammar, and then I continued to learn it in school until like I was about 18. And then I developed my Arabic skills further by taking A level Arabic in London, and which helped me a lot, which I got an A in, by the way. And then, so in this first lesson of Arabic, I'm just gonna teach you how to pronounce each Arabic letter, and then in the next lesson, I'll teach you how to write it. So let's just start with the first letter, which is Alif, and it's just pronounced as A, Alif, A. And an example would be Asad, which means lion. The next letter is Ba, 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 Ba. That's how you just pronounce it. And an example would be Batta, which means duck, Batta. The next one is Ta, 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 Ta. And an example would be Tufaha, which means an apple. And by the way, guys, just like focus on my mouth and how I pronounce each letter so you can learn like the proper pronunciation. So far we've done Alif, A, Ba, 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 Ta. And then the next one is Tha, 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 Tha. An example would be Thalab, which means fox. The next one is Jim, Jim, Jim. And an example would be Jamal, which means camel. And the next one is Ha, 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 Ha. An example would be Habibi, which means my love or my lover. This is like the most commonly used word in Arabic, Habibi. And then the next one is Kha, 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 Kha. Notice like these ones, like lots of people mix these two up, but like the other one is Ha, Habibi. This one is Kha, as in like, for example, khubz, which means bread, khubz, khubz, or kharuf, which means sheep. The next one is dal, da, da, da. An example would be dar, which means house. And the next one is dal, dal. It's like very similar to dal, like D, but the letter D, but it's a bit more like dal. It's just pronounced that way. I don't know how to explain it. It's like dal, 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 dal. And the example would be dhahab, which means gold. Dhahab, dhahab. Like if you speak Spanish, it would be like the D, how you pronounce the D in Spanish, kind of like you make it a bit lighter. Da, da, dhahab. Instead of saying dahab, 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 dahab. Yeah. And then next letter is ra, 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 ra. It's ra. This would be hard for English speakers because in English it's just the ra, the letter R is pronounced completely different. So ra, an example would be rumman. The next letter is zai, za, za, za. An example would be zarafa, which means giraffe. And rumman means pomegranate, by the way. And the next one is sin, sa, sa, sa. An example would be salam, which is a greeting, and it also means peace. The next one is sheen, sha, sha, sha. Example would be shams. Next one is sad. So sad is like very similar to seen, but it's a bit like fatter. That's how I describe things. It's like a bit more like, so instead of sad, it's seen is sisisa, Sad is sa sa sa. So an example would be صاروخ, which means rocket. Sad dad. The next one is dad, which means, sorry, an example would be ضفدع, which means frog. And the next one is ta, ta ta ta. It's like ta, but it's like, again, it's fatter. Ta ta, ta ta ta. An example would be tomatum, which means tomato. And the next one is okay, these two can be very confusing because even I mix them up, but they're very similar. The only difference is it's a very slight difference. It's like, so the one in ضفدع, ض, and then there's like this one. An example would be ظرف, which means like an envelope. It's that's the only way I can explain it, the. But once you get to learn how to write, it will be so much easier. You'll understand it more. And then the next letter is Ain. An example would be Ainab, which means grape. Ain, like, it sounds funny, but that's just how you pronounce it. The next letter is Ghain, ra. This one is an equivalent of the R in French or the R in German. غراب. The next one would be the letter fa, as in fil, which means elephant. And the next one is qaf, qa. This one is also a bit hard. Qa'an, as in qird, which means monkey. Qa. The next, this one feels more like you're pressing, you're pressing your throat together. If you try. And the next one is kaf, ka, as in kelb, which means dog. The next one is lam, la, as in laymoon, which means lemon. And the next one is meme, ma, as in moza, which means banana. The next one is noon, na, as in namla, which means ant. The next one is ha, as in hatif, which means telephone. And then we have wow, as in warda, which means flower. And the final one is ya, as in yad, which means hand. So I hope this was helpful, and stay tuned for the next lesson, which is gonna be about how to write these 28 letters. And I'm gonna teach you how to write, because in Arabic, because you connect the letters together. It's not like in the Latin or English letters, like you don't connect them. In Arabic, you have to connect it. So because of that, I have to teach you the letters, how to write it in the beginning of a word, in the middle of a word, and at the end of the word, as each letter takes a different shape. So yeah, so see you next time.